Yeah, obviously, tough loss. Disappointed with how we played in the second quarter. I think we just got to do a better job coaching. We got to play better fundamental defense all the way around. I thought we had some key penalties that really hurt us. They were, I don't know if they're penalties you can really coach. Hands to the face, things that just happened. The PI I thought looked worse in the game than when we watched it on film. I thought that call could have went either way, but it didn't go our way, and resulted in extending some drives for them. Obviously issues run fit wise. In that first half, things we had to get cleaned up. I thought once we got things adjusted, cleaned up at halftime, for the most part we settled in and played a lot better in the second half. But a game like that, we've got to be able to play better defense. I expect us to play better defense and hold that team to under 20 points and just weren't able to make quite enough plays to get it done. I thought positives, third down defense was pretty good, but overall didn't tackle very well. Didn't get the ball back. Didn't have a ton of opportunities to get the ball back, but we had one that hit our hands that we got to try to finish that play there. But yeah, really tough loss for us, and all we know how to do is bounce back, and that's what I expect our guys to do this week. I didn't think we practiced very well last week. I told the guys that leading up to the game, and I think that probably had an effect on us. So I liked what I saw for the most part today as far as the mentality. I don't think we've got a lot of quit on this team. I think our guys are determined and want to get it fixed and want to play at a higher level and the standard that we want to hold them to. But we'll have to have a great week of practice because this is by far the best offense we've played to date. They're great at running the football. They've got two different quarterbacks they play that manage the game well. They can do a lot of things. Their O-line is really strong, really big. They've got two really good running backs, really three, but 1 and 22. Both are really good backs, two different type of backs. One's a little bit more shifty, elusive. 22's probably more of a true, in between your tackles back, but they both run the football at a high level. Tight end wise, number 20 is the best pass catching, vertical threat tight end we've seen. Really explosive player from the tight end position. And then I think they're really strong at wideout. I think number 11 is probably the best wideout that we've seen to date and will probably be one of the best that we see all season. He's big, he's explosive, he can run. So they do a great job offensively. They shift, they motion you, they'll give you end over every unbalanced known to man, and then it's run, and then play action, max pro shot, and throw it over your head. So big time challenge for us this week. Obviously we're their opener in their new stadium, and I don't think that's going to affect their approach other than they're going to have probably more juice than ever. So, but I like our football team, and I like and I fully expect that we'll respond the right way and be prepared to try to make it a ball game.
Scott, you were able to get back Chibuzi and Kristen for the Syracuse game, and did those? And they didn't get a lot of reps, but did those reps help them get prepared to get back into game shape for this week?
Yeah, we those guys weren't quite up to full speed yet for us. So you hope that through practice this week and conditioning and continued improvement on injuries, we'll be able to have both those guys back this week. But it's kind of too early to tell on that.
And you mentioned the struggles there that your defense had in the second quarter, but you guys did, kind of turn things around the third and fourth quarters after their opening drive to start the second half. How pleased were you with the guys in responding to the adjustments that you guys had for them and able to keep them in check and give the offense a chance, to win it there?
Yeah, I think I think when we came in at halftime, settled them down, and just we had I thought our game plan was good. Obviously, when you don't know what quarterback's going to start, it makes it a little bit tougher. I thought DeVito would start. I did, and that's on me. I I thought their coaching staff did a good job building it around who they started at quarterback. And there were some things that maybe we wish we would have done, hindsight's 2020, going into the game, knowing who was going to be the quarterback. You got a guy that is more of a runner, and their vertical passing game has been the issue the last 2 years. We stressed the run fits, but not to the degree, and I don't think we coached it to the degree that we needed to. And so, I think we had some adjustments in there, but I also think, it was important. I think what we did a good job of, and our kids did a good job of, was stuff that we hadn't worked, we didn't want to jump into and do, just because it maybe was the best call at the time. If we haven't worked it all week, let's not draw in the dirt. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We need to get some things cleaned up. And I thought we did a better job of that in the second half once we settled down. But, first off, credit to them. They won the game. I didn't feel like we deserved to win. We had a chance to win. But, we got to play at a higher level on defense, and we got to start faster and be able to play a more complete game. And, that's the bottom line to me.
Scott, when you look at the fact that Hopkins started and played the entire game against Tulane, does that give you a better idea of how UAB is building its offense around him and gives you an idea of how to formulate a game plan for them? Or are you still looking at possibly them playing two quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think you would anticipate the way he played in the Tulane game that Nine's the starter. The offense doesn't change a whole lot. He's kind of got the hot hand right now. He's delivering the football really well, I think in their mind. But, they do what they do, and they do it at a really high level. I would compare them closely to an option type of an offense. I mean, they run outside zone and give you a ton of different formations to do it and run it really, really well. And then the play action off of it, exposes the one-on-one matchups. So I don't think that changes, Coach Clark's a tough-minded guy, and their guys are going to be extremely physical. And I think it'll be the most physical game we've played to this date. And, so our guys are going to have to be ready to respond. And, obviously looking at what the quarterbacks do well is important for sure. But I think the drastic difference that we saw last week between starting DeVito and them being truly more of an RPO-based offense, a vertical shot-based offense, to basically running the ball and throwing a bunch of screens, and that was the extent of the pass game. There was a couple shots that they tried to take, but that really wasn't what the quarterback was built for. And so, I think we'll have a better understanding. I don't think the offense is going to change as much this week. It's just who the guy is making the decisions with the ball in his hands.
Coming off the first loss you guys have had in quite some time, do you think it'll be difficult or hard to kind of get the guys to kind of quickly flip the switch and turn it on to UAB and be focused for, like you said, another really tough opponent, despite you might be feeling down in the dumps to start the week?
Yeah, I don't think that this group of guys is going to be defined by one loss. I think the character that we have in our locker room, I think the resilience that we have, I think they felt the same way that we felt. It hurt. It hurt to lose a game that we could have won, that we felt like we probably should have won. We outgained them on offense. We had the ball to with a tied game with four plus minutes left and then had the ball again. But I think our kids on defense look at it like we didn't do enough to win the game, and that's the mentality it needs to be. I think they felt the exact same way that I felt. I think every perspective is different. Obviously, an offensive perspective, they feel like, well, we should have scored or this or that. Well, I don't even think the game should have come to that. And I think our kids have the same mentality, and that's what's important to me. We're not a finger-pointing group. We've got enough core leadership that I expect that we're going to respond and bounce back the right way. And, I don't know if we'll win or not this week. I know we have a good football team, and I know if we prepare the right way, we'll give our kids a chance to go down there and play at a high level. And that's what we expect. That's what I want. If we play great and we come up short, but we're locked in and we're ready and we're prepared, and they make a couple more plays than us, I can live with that. I can sleep with that at night. We're not going to win every single game, but we're good enough to play with this team, but we're going to have a great week of practice and play at an extremely high level because this is a very good football team.
Scott, you're 1/3 of the way through the season. Can you give us an evaluation of how you feel your linebackers have done this year?
Yeah, I think we're getting better, but we got to overall improve as a group. That was the biggest disappointment for me on Saturday or Friday, was just the inconsistency at linebacker play. Really hurt us on some run fits. I think you see 34, you see 12. Some of those other guys flash and have the big playability at times. We just need it consistently. And so, the word in our room this week is going to be consistency. It's not if I make 10 tackles but I have 10 MAs, that's not good enough to win college football games. And so, a lot of those are guys that haven't played snaps here. And so I think that's the biggest challenge that I have is, us as a staff putting together a game plan for our guys that they can execute that's the best against what an offense does, but also making sure it's a fine balance within that linebacker room that we can do it at a high level.
How vital is the linebacker play against this type of offense?
Well, it's huge. I mean, they're going to run outside zone at every formation and every type of motion and shift and unbalanced. And, it's alignment and just being assignment sound. As I said, it's like option football. We're going to have to be really locked in, and we're going to have to tackle at a high level. And collectively as a group, we're going to have to tackle much better. I think that was the poorest tackling game we've had not only this year, but I would say in the last 6 or 8 games that I can remember. And credit to them. You play a good back, there's going to be more missed tackles. Let's just be realistic. They've got a better player getting the ball. So, but we have got to play with better fundamentals and just details and focus on those base things. And those are the areas that I look for us to improve first and foremost this week.